Hello, I'm Zoe Schroeder, your registered dietitian here at Tucson Weight Loss Surgery, and today we're going to be talking all about protein shakes. I'm sure this is at the top of your mind because it's pretty much all that you're having right now, so I wanted to break it down for you and give you all of the information that you need to know about protein shakes. Okay, so pre-op, you are in that produce phase. Now that you have had your surgery and for about a year afterwards, you're in what's known as the honeymoon phase, also known as the protein phase. So during this honeymoon phase is where you are actually losing the majority of your weight. But what we want to do is minimize muscle loss, which is why you need to prioritize protein so much. Getting your protein in not only helps minimize muscle loss, but it also prevents hair loss. And we definitely want to make sure that you are as healthy as possible in this honeymoon phase so you keep feeling good and keep with your progress. So your protein goal is about between 60 and 80 grams per day, but if you are over 6 feet tall, then it's 100 grams per day. And then after you're out of this honeymoon phase, which I said before usually lasts about a year, but it might last a little longer for some people, then you're back to the produce phase. But don't worry, we're going to talk more about that in another video. So this is what your post-op protein progression should look like. Right away, you're on the liquid protein. Most of the time, this means protein shakes. That's what we're going to talk about mostly today. Then you go to the soft dairy, so those are going to be Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and then you go to the blended bean soups. Then after you can tolerate that, you move more towards the egg, whole beans, and more of the chunkier soups. Then after that, you go to the fish and seafood as well as nuts as tolerated, and then after that we go then to the chicken. So that's how your protein progression should look, and everybody progresses through these phases a little bit differently. It's all very individualized based on how your body's tolerating and responding, but know that this is the order in which you can introduce them back in. So protein shakes, you want to start trying them now, meaning pre-operatively. Hopefully you're watching this video, you are not yet having surgery, but what you can do is start today so that once surgery happens, you will know what you like. So there are a couple different types. You can get ready to drink, also known as RTD, ready to drink protein shakes, as well as the powdered kind. So like I said before, you want to try different ones, see what you like, and know that you can mix and match, play around with it, have multiple kinds. It's totally up to you. We definitely want to make sure you are looking for those higher protein, lower volume protein shakes so that you can meet your protein goal easily without having a ton of volume, because taking in a lot of liquid or volume in your stomach, especially post-op, is going to be a challenge. So we want to make sure you're getting as much protein in for as little volume as possible. So let's talk about a couple of these ready to drink options. The ones here on the screen are the most common ones among our patients here. You can see that a lot of them feature that high protein. So the Core Power, 42 grams, Muscle Milk, 40 grams, that Rockin' Protein, 30 grams, Premier Protein, 30 grams. So all of these have a really good amount of protein in them for their volume. So if we take, for instance, that Core Power, you only have to drink 2 of those, depending on your height, to reach your daily protein goal, which will be beneficial, especially at the beginning when volume is going to be an issue. Just know that whatever you do choose, look at the back, read the nutrition facts label, and add up how many you will need in order to meet that goal. Something else that you can do to increase the protein content of whatever shake you're doing without increasing the volume is actually adding protein powder to a ready-to-drink option. So right here I have the Nectar unflavored protein powder that is 10 grams of protein per scoop. We add that to the 30 grams that you're already getting from the ready to drink, and then that's 40 grams of protein for that same volume. So definitely keep that on hand. That's a really good trick. Okay, let's talk about nutrition facts label and our 10-to-1 rule. This 10-to-1 rule is our protein to calories. We want to make sure that your calories are 10 times or less your grams of protein. So let's take, for instance, this Premier Protein. You can see that the calories are 160 grams and the protein is 30 grams. So this follows our 10-to-1 rule. If the calories were 300 or more, it would not follow our 10-to-1 rule and you would want to find a different protein. But this is really great ratio of calories to protein. Want to make sure that your sugar is less than 8 grams, which this one is, as well as more protein than carbohydrates. If you're looking at a nutrition facts label of a protein drink and there are more carbohydrates than protein, you're going to want to find another protein shake. Okay, now let's talk about protein powder shakes. So whey protein, first of all, there are so many varieties of protein powder on the market, and depending on your dietary restrictions, if you have any food allergies, definitely want to keep this in mind. However, whey protein is the most available for your muscles and good for preserving your muscles, as well as the easiest to digest and absorb for your body. So whey protein is a milk protein, which means if you get whey protein by itself, it's going to have lactose in it. But if you get whey isolate, this means the whey protein is isolated from the lactose sugar, meaning it's lactose free. So if you are lactose intolerant, definitely get the whey isolate. And whey isolate is definitely very easy to find, and same thing, very available for your muscles to utilize best. So that's my biggest recommendation. And there are actually so many brands and flavors and varieties of the whey protein because it is the most common. You will have much more creativity and variety with the flavors there. But if you don't like whey or you don't do dairy, that's okay. There are plenty of other protein powders out there that you can get that are a great source of protein as well. So egg white protein, great source of protein, soy protein, as well as our plant and pea protein. Something to keep in mind about the plant proteins or vegan proteins, things like that. Definitely important to read that nutrition facts label and check it for the 10-to-1 calories to protein ratio that we were talking about on the previous slide. The reason being is that most of the plant and vegan proteins are going to be higher in carbohydrate. So make sure you read the label and just double check that it's still within those guidelines and you're good to go. So that's why I say here, read the nutrition facts label, not only for the calories and the carbohydrates and the protein content, but also for the serving size. So definitely make sure you double check that the nutrition facts listed is for 1 scoop or 2 scoops. You want to make sure that you know what those numbers correlate to so that you can do your math appropriately. If you have any questions about that, be sure to let me know. I'm happy to help. Okay, where to buy? So where do we buy our protein shakes? Luckily, they are so readily available these days that you can buy protein powders, ready-to-drink protein shakes pretty much everywhere. Grocery stores, drugstores, Walmart and Target, Costco, Sam's Club, anywhere, especially online, of course. Amazon's a great resource for that too. Okay, so let's talk about what you want to mix your protein shakes with. So there are a couple different categories we can go with. First one we're going to talk about are the protein-free options, meaning you don't have to add in that extra protein. So that's going to be water. You can do sugar-free non-carbonated beverages like Crystal Light, or Gatorade Zero. If you want to make it, a lighter option like that, you can mix it with that. Or decaf coffee, that'll be good if you like coffee flavoring. You can mix your protein powder with that. Or unsweetened almond milk. These ones you don't have to add in any additional protein to. Now, you can choose a mixer that has protein in it. So, for instance, if you use skim or non-fat milk, that's a great mixer, and it has 8 grams of protein per cup that you can then add to your daily protein goal. So if you're using a scoop of protein powder that has 30 grams of protein in it, and you mix it with 8 ounces of non-fat milk, you can add those 8 grams of protein to it. Make sense? So just make sure that you are keeping that into consideration when you're mixing your protein drinks. So in addition to milk, you can use the Fairlife milk, which is lactose free and higher protein, as well as unsweetened soy milk. And you can also use non-fat Greek yogurt as well, which has a high protein content. Now you can use those shaker cups that you see around a lot, whether you go to the gym or you see them in the grocery store. The balls with the little, or the cup with the little blender ball in the bottom, that's a very easy way to do it. You can also use a blender, especially if you want to add ice to make a little bit more of a milkshake-like consistency. You don't have to do ice though, but you can if you want to. And something else to try is if you are trying to prepare for the day, thinking about how many protein shakes you need in order to reach your goal of anywhere from 60 to 100 grams of protein per day, you can actually mix all of your protein drinks up at once in one big blender full. Let's say you're using a protein powder and you have 30 grams per scoop. Well, you can do 2 scoops, put whatever other mixers you want in there, mix it up, and then know that you just have to drink whatever's in that blender throughout the day. You can do it like that, or you can mix them up individually. It's really dependent on your preference, your schedule, what you've got going on. I do have a lot of really awesome protein shake recipes on my Pinterest. It's listed right there as Zoe Schroeder Bariatric. So search for me on Pinterest and look at my protein shakes board because there are some really awesome recipes. Okay, that's it on protein shakes for right now. I'm Zoe Schroeder, your registered dietitian here at Tucson Weight Loss Surgery. And if you're not already a member of our nutrition program, make sure you subscribe to that because you get unlimited access to our group classes, able to chat with me, interact with your fellow people, and we'll see you in the next one.